Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to another J Club podcast. I am your host, Alex, with my other hosts.
Hey everyone, this is Eva. What's up, my peeps? It's Jess.
Hey, you got it right this time. Good job.
Yeah.
All right. I hope you're ready to take another walk through this podcast. It's going to be very simple, nothing really specific. But you know what gets me in the mood for doing a podcast? Coffee, caffeine, yes. I can't live without it. Sometimes I can, but my heart cannot handle it, I don't think.
Yeah.
You need some caffeine.
I can't sign up for this.
You need some caffeine.
We all need some caffeine.
But I don't know. In order to do these kind of recordings and stuff.
You win a car. You all win a car.
No, we can't do that. No one's getting a car. No one's getting. There's no sponsor in this episode. We're not sponsored yet.
Waiting a car.
But what does get me going to be able to have enough energy to do these podcasts and recordings and stuff like that is caffeine. I mean, let's be honest. We all need it every morning.
We all survive off of it.
Sometimes.
It's in our blood.
I mean, a lot of people.
It's part of our blood.
I don't think.
I don't think it's part of our blood.
I don't think we go that far.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, most of us on our daily lives, we wake up and we get coffee to start off the day, right? Mom,
True.
don't you get coffee?
Yes, I do.
I drink milk.
I need it. Otherwise, I get a really bad headache.
Caffeine deficiency.
Crabby.
That's caffeine deficient. That means
You're
you're
addicted.
But see, now there's different types of caffeine, though. I mean, like
True. There's caffeine in coffee. There's caffeine in tea.
energy drinks.
Energy drinks. Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
Something.
Yeah, exactly.
Something else. But no, I'm just joking, guys. It's just a random ass topic that I bring because we're gonna move away from the spooky side of October for this podcast and just kind of get into some normal talking. You know, some just what's on our minds. You know, our thoughts and stuff about everyday life. I don't know, things that may come up. I mean, right?
True.
Yeah.
I mean, because we can't. I mean, yeah, October and Halloween is great, but let's be honest. There's more things to life than seasonal things that come up. You know, like for instance, this year per se. You know, hasn't been a great one.
It's been
but it's been a year. You know,
it's been a year. Yeah.
You know, so I mean,
something.
And it's almost over. Yay! Hopefully, we can put it behind us.
Yeah. Not like we probably can, but yeah, I mean, like,
Just want to erase it.
we can't. It's
If
2020.
you erase it,
20
you erase who we are now, Mom.
I'm about to say, like, if
We
you
grew this year.
did we
Did
we
we?
though?
Right.
We have problems, Jess.
Yeah.
We grew this year. No matter what you say, we grew this year.
Great,
Right, hippie
great.
Jess.
She's trying to be all metaphorical. And
Listen, I'm touching my inner hippie, okay?
Hippie.
Ew, kill. Ew. But yeah, I mean, this year has been the greatest. But I mean, it's been a year, like I said. A lot of things have happened in our lives, and we hope that. I mean, it hasn't all been great, obviously. But let's be honest. I mean, not much has been great. You know, once we get a camera, you'll see what Jessica's stupidity does.
Right.
No. I act nice on camera.
Yeah, on cameras, because you know your subconscious is like, there's someone watching.
My FBI agent watches me every day.
My FBI agent.
Great.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, this year so far has been,
Adventurous.
to say the least, you know,
Would
a lot. I mean,
call it adventurous.
well, let's be honest. I mean,
would you
in-
rather call it an emotional roller coaster we're all dying and screaming?
yes,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
We all go at different tastes.
to make it truthful, yes.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I hope all you guys' year so far has been great. I mean, we are coming up to October; it's right around the corner. I mean, October.
October?
Son of a-
Wow, we went backwards.
Hey, shush.
Alrighty.
You know what?
Yay, we get to start October
It's
over
the
again.
most wonderful
Yeah.
time of the
Yeah. This is why.
I love doing random podcasts.
This is why I'm sad.
Because you got us.
November is coming up.
November, Halloween. It's all around the corner. You know, the year's almost over.
Christmas.
Well, Christmas be Christmas.
Yes.
Let that sink in.
It's the most wonderful time.
No, just we're in October right now. If I want to remind you, we're in October. Like we gotta go. We gotta.
Halloween.
Hey, yo. But yeah, I mean, a lot of things have happened this year. I hope everything's been going for your guys' year has been okay. I mean, I know a lot's happened, but I hope y'all are keeping safe, are healthy, clean, whatever it may be. Sanitized. I mean, to just kick off how my year has been, it's been okay. You know, too much has happened. I would have to say.
Way too much.
But it wasn't all like it wasn't spread out to where it seemed like a lot, or sorry, not a lot, but not enough. You know what I mean? Like it all kind of happened at once, and what I mean by at once, I mean the bad stuff. My birthday, they shut down everything. March 19th, they shut everything down on my birthday when I was there, and we couldn't go out, couldn't do anything, can't do a single thing.
Everyone was celebrating that school was out. I was just here crying that school was out.
Because it was, well, what are you gonna do? I mean, I like to go out. I like to get fresh air. You know, I mean, it's not like I can't do that now, but when everything shuts down, you can't do specifically
especially
something.
When it first happened.
Exactly, when it first happened, there was absolutely nothing you could do.
Right.
Everything was closed.
Yep.
And for like a good week, and then they finally slowly start opening up certain restaurants here and there.
I would probably say a good month.
Few months until August.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like the major, but like major things were open. You know, supermarkets and stuff were open.
Yeah,
of course, with restrictions, hella restrictions, if I want to say that for the least. Like, you had to have a mask. There was a security guard that would let one person in at a time. You know, it was a year so far to start off. But then you look at it and you're like, well, 2019 Christmas was okay. You know,
it? I don't remember 2019. It's been so long. It's been so long.
Not even a year.
Not even a year yet. Yeah. But it is true. Like, you think about it, you're like, man, 2019 was great. Like, what happened in 2019?
Was it great? Oh, 2019. Sorry.
No, 2020.
I thought you said 2020. And I was like,
2019. Well, when you think back at like 2019, it's like, wow, there's actually was a lot that actually did happen. You know, versus now where it's like, too much has happened.
True.
You know, where a lot of
true.
people can't handle it.
Right.
You know, and it's sad. You know, but I mean, we're getting through it as a community. As people grow, the world grows. You know, we learn, we live, we adapt, we overcome. You know, that's human nature.
Right. Yeah, that is true.
But like I said, my year, since like personally, hasn't been the greatest. It started off okay. It kind of got messed up on my birthday when everything kind of closed. At that point, like, but everything was still fine. It was like, okay, well, I'm at home anyways. I had a lot of online classes. I had one or two in-person classes. You know, it was it was a year. You know, there was a start off of stuff, so it didn't really matter. But then tragic took for the worst. A lot of people may know that if you saw my Instagram story, that most of my family members on my mom's side got COVID. Very tragic, and we still mourn about that. You know,
Right.
it's something that's happened. You have
And
to
you gotta
overcome.
remember too that it is real. It is real, even though, you know, a lot of people out there, you know, don't believe that it is real, that it's all a hoax. It is real. It is something that you really should think about, take into consideration, and, you know, take care of yourself, take care of your family. You know, make sure you guys are staying healthy, staying safe, you know, washing your hands, hand sanitizer, you know, keeping everything clean.
But see, that's the other thing too. When you look at it, it's like people always tell you, like, "Oh, wash your hands." Well, we've been told that even during flu season, like, wash your hands, stay sanitized, stay safe. You know, of course, you're not wearing masks,
Right.
but the flu has killed more so far still than COVID.
Right.
You know, let's be honest.
Right.
You know, if you look at the numbers,
Now, people have blown this whole COVID deal could be out of proportion, or it could be trying to warn people about how bad it is and how it can be just like the flu. You know, there are the symptoms that are flu-like symptoms of the COVID that you do get when you do have it. Yeah. And that's the thing where you gotta try to figure out, okay, do I have a cold, a common cold, or do I actually have COVID?
Well, because let's try not to talk about COVID too much because YouTube doesn't like that. But
true.
But yeah, I mean, the year has been great for even not just me, but my family. Like you, Mom, Jess, those were our family members who were affected. Mm-hmm. And for those who saw my Instagram story, my sister's Instagram story, those family members that did have COVID, unfortunately did pass. They did not make it. A few of them did overcome COVID, 2 of them, but unfortunately one still passed because my nanny, who passed before her mom lost both of her kids, actually all of her kids before.
Not all of her.
Not all
of her kids. At Carmen.
Oh yeah, at Carmen. Yeah, that's right.
You know, she had 6 kids, and 2 passed away.
Right.
So there are still 4 that remain in the family.
Oh, okay. But she did lose her son-in-law,
her grandson,
and son-in-law, right?
Who was
Uncle David?
That's her son.
That was her son.
That's her son?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we said 2 of her children and a grandson.
Yeah, because Nani and Uncle David were brothers. Brother and sisters. I'm sorry. I know brothers. I'm sorry. But I mean, we did lose some family members during this time. We're still really mourning about it. We're really sad. But again, we can't do anything to overcome it. We can't release any anger or sadness or get a lot of emotion out. You know, like a lot of times people go and do things. You know, they go out to parties, the beach, miniature golfing, bowling. They get their heads out of the clouds, basically, you know. Stormy clouds, if I want to call it. Mm-hmm. You know, but this year there's restrictions. You can't do much. So my body has turned on itself. I now have a lot of internal problems. My mom doesn't like to think I have internal problems, but I know I do.
Right.
But you know, we all try to stay positive on it. You know, I can't really eat much spicy food, acidic food. I have very bad gastrointestinal distress. So I can't really eat too much like I used to. But I still eat food. I don't really have it to complain about. You know, I'm not too worried about it. It's something that's simply like, just make sure when you eat, you let it digest, and then you can lay down. That's about it. Like, sure. I mean, I also had a panic attack a week after. Jeez, don't be kicking my stuff. A week after my nanny passed, we all kind of, me, my sister, and my cousin, we all kind of had something happen to us. We all, about a week later, our bodies took a turn on each other, and it wasn't the greatest, you know. Had a few incidents here and there, but nothing extreme. Just very like when it comes to panic attacks, I've never had one. So when I had one, I thought the worst, you know. So it's been a year for me. For my mom and sis, obviously, is the same thing. It hasn't been a great year for us, but of course that was only because we lost family members, and we lose family members constantly. Mm-hmm. But this isn't the way that we wanted to lose them. But we have to accept it because it is what it is. It happened. You know, life goes on still. You know, we can't look back too far on it. You know, we want to, you know, and want to go back and fix it or try to do our best to make it work, you know. Right. And I'm not trying to turn this episode into a mourn fest, but I'm just saying, like, the year has been great, you know.
Right.
But we're almost out of it. I mean, like, look at it. We're already in October.
True.
And we all started off in quarantine, you know. So to think that we've come this far into the year, I mean, that's pretty great, you know. 2020 hasn't been great for anybody, if you ask, you know. Maybe it has been great for some people.
I have a question.
What's up?
Now, since we've been on quarantine. How do you feel about doing basically homeschooling with college and high school?
I'm going to be honest. I used to hate going in person to college classes. But then when I look at it, I'm like, damn, I really do miss that. You know?
Right.
Because it gives you something to do again. Like it just gives you something to go, somewhere to go, people to talk to, you know? Like physical interaction, you know?
Right.
Like you can look at somebody eye to eye and talk to them versus like seeing them through a computer screen at home, you know? Like it's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. And not to mention like our friends are just getting out of the house like helps relieve stress, to be honest, you know? Like just knowing that you're going somewhere in your mind and knowing that there's something that you got to do, right? Or people to talk to versus like people are scared if you got to stay 6 feet away, you know?
Right.
It's just, to me personally, I still find in school learning, for a long time, I didn't like it.
Right.
You know, it sucks, you know, because there's people that you don't like. Then there's people that you do like. But then you have friends, you know, that you love to go and talk to. It's just, sure, school sucks, but I mean, it gives us something to do, you know?
Yeah. Because
imagine being at home 24/7, 365 days a week, a year, and not doing anything. you get bored.
Right.
So, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's how this year's basically been. When you get done with school online, what are you going to do? Go on your phone for the next 3.5 hours until dinner? Go eat dinner with your family if you eat dinner on the table with your family. I don't know if you do. But like what are you going to do? You know, it's been sucky, you know? You look at a computer all day, you know, and if people are blind or can't see well or have glasses, and the next you know they have to stare at a computer screen for 5 hours a day, like that's a strain on the eyes. And then for people who have good eyes, now next thing you know, people are gonna come out of 2020 with glasses. Yeah. When there wasn't any glasses to begin with. You know, so I mean, but to go back on that question, you know, like it's okay. Homeschooling is fine. I want to say homeschooling, but more like online classes is fine. Right. Because it's just a lot of work. You get the work done, and you turn it in, and you're done. But then, like I said, what do? You get bored. Right. Like Jess, when you're done with school, what do you do?
Call on my phone.
Exactly.
Call on my phone.
But what do you do on your phone?
TikTok. I literally...
See, that's the other thing, too, right there. TikTok. Up. Our dog's up, and we're okay.
She's alright.
Our dog is fine.
She's just an old lady.
Sorry about that. That was
little interruption by her, but she just wants to say hello.
Hello.
But yeah, TikTok, like, but you go on it for what, 3 to 4 hours a day?
I'm like 7.
but then you go to the and that's the thing that sucks. It's like you get done with school, and next thing you know, you can't go anywhere. You can't go to the park with your friends. You can't just hang out outside a classroom, you know, and get something to drink or a snack or something. You have to sit at home and watch TV. Yeah. Try to do home workouts.
Try to find something interesting on YouTube, even if you watched it like 50 times.
And that's the other thing too. TikTok and YouTube, right? They're both video streaming platforms, basically. You know, content, I guess you could say. When you're watching it, I've gotten to the point to where YouTube, if there's nothing interesting, I don't watch it. So then I get bored. Stop messing with the dog. She's trying to sleep. Okay. Y'all are over here like messing with her.
Well, Jesse, how do you feel about doing homeschool? Homeschooling.
Well, we know you hate it, but we don't really care for you.
I don't care about your opinion.
I don't like.
Okay. What are you saying?
I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it.
But there's a but. I heard a but. What was the but?
There was a but, but then I remember that there's nothing good about it. Well, there is some good things about it. You don't have to look at the people that you hate in the face.
True. Yeah, you don't have to deal with drama.
Yeah.
Very much.
And you can keep your like camera off if you're allowed to, and like you don't have to like show your face if you don't want to. But I think like the thing that mostly sucks is like how you said like you don't get to actually talk to your friends. Like if you try to talk to them through the chat, like the teacher
other people
says
can see it. Yeah.
other people can see it, and even if it's private, like the teacher can still see it, or like they'll be like, hey, like, you know, focus on your work, because they can monitor you through your Chromebook, like through your computer, so they can see what you're doing. So if you're on YouTube on your Chromebook while also in the meeting, they're gonna be like, hey, like, you know, get off that YouTube and actually do your work.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that sucks, but like also it's like I'm kind of glad because I get to just stay home, and like school starts later than usual, so I do get to sleep in. But then again, it's still like, ugh. And then like if someone says something controversy in class, you can't really speak about it because
Right. But
if
then
you
if
do,
you
then
do-
it creates a whole classroom thing. If it was in person, someone said that, and you actually said it in person, like the teacher would actually stop you, or people would, you know, try to jump in. But like online, they just stay quiet, and instead they type through the chat while you're arguing with someone.
Right. Yeah, it sucks. You know, but I mean, like you said, there's some upsides. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. You can sleep in because school starts later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, homework is much easier because it's all through online. There's no paperwork. There's nothing to hold on to. There's no books that you have to whip out into the class or go to your locker or
Now
something.
you can't.
I mean,
you can't give the excuses. You know, my dog ate my homework.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Well, now the new excuse is, oh, sorry, my Wi-Fi went
yeah,
out.
my Wi-Fi went out. Yeah.
People just leave meetings, and then they'll email the teacher like 3 hours later saying, hey, sorry, my Wi-Fi went out, I just got it fixed, when really
they
it
just
never
left.
went out.
Yeah, it just left. Yeah.
But teachers take it. They'll just be like, oh, okay, that's fine, because if they
Because
know
what
if they
what
say
are they
anything.
gonna do? Yeah.
Like,
Right.
they know if they're like, oh, yeah, right, then the students will tell their parents, and then the parents will be like, hey, like, don't talk to my, like, student that way, you know? And
Yeah.
then the teachers get in trouble.
Mhm.
But
Right. Yeah. It's still. Yeah.
I
it's
mean-
very. It's an icky system.
I miss carrying around all my books. I do miss that, just because I like, you know, the
You like the
thought of like,
aspect of
yeah,
it.
I like the aspect of carrying around books and like opening your lockers and this and that.
Yeah.
But then like at home, the only thing I don't like is like, especially if you use Google Classroom, sometimes the teachers don't like put the due date, and then like a week will go by and you're like, oh, okay, like, you know, it's just a little worksheet, but then next thing you know, they're emailing you saying, hey, you have like 10 missing assignments, what the heck? And you're like, there's no due date. And then they're
Right.
like, oh, well, it was due like 3 weeks ago. And it's like, well, why didn't you tell me the day of? Or like, why don't
Right.
you put a due date on the homework then?
Yeah.
Say it's homework instead of just posting it.
Right.
You know, that's the only thing I don't like, because in person, they'd actually hand you something and be like, this is homework.
Right.
And then like, if you're missing it, they can actually help you instead of being like, oh, well, you know, stay with me for one-on-one, because for some people, it's awkward. Some people don't want to sit
Yeah,
there and look
definitely.
at their teacher and talk to them, because it's awkward, or they may be like in an uncomfortable environment while doing the tutoring or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But another upside, like you said, to the online schooling and stuff, is that for people who are, when you have to do a project
Mm.
and
Right.
you're stage fright, you know, you get stage fright, and you can't speak in front of people. On computers, you could turn off your face cam and just speak from the computer. You don't have to look at anything; just look at the computer.
See, now, I know people are like, oh, yeah, that does make sense. I still get scared. I have my face cam off, and I'll just talk, and I still get nervous, and I'm still shaking, because I know people are listening, you know?
Oh,
So I'm still kind
Yeah.
of just, it helps that I don't have my camera, like, I don't have to look people in the face.
Oh,
But it's still kind of like, well, they can hear, like, any stutter, any, like, me
Yeah,
tripping over my
definitely.
words, you know?
But it definitely helps with stage fright, though.
Well, yeah, it definitely helps for people who are like don't like to be like in front of large crowds, because on
Yeah.
computer, if you're in a class with 26 kids, instead of sitting in a desk in a tiny room with 26 students, you're able to be at home comfortable.
Yeah, in your comfort
Yeah.
zone and stuff. That's what I'm saying. So there's a lot of upsides, but then there's a ton of downsides as well. Like it doesn't make sense sometimes to do online schooling. From a college standpoint, it's great.
It's horrible.
Right.
You know, no. What I mean by college standpoint, and what I mean by like online schooling is
It's
like
great. It's
when you don't
horrible.
have to show up for a class at all. You
Yeah,
just
but
get homework.
I did college online, and I never even got to go. I went in for college classrooms in person and online, and I way rather face the professor face to face.
Well, yeah. Well, no, that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, for classes that don't need in-person contact, where it's just here's the homework and here's a book. Read the
right.
book
Where you
and
don't
then
have
do the
to do
homework.
the meetings.
Yeah, you don't have to do
Right.
meetings. Like that's pretty nice, and you get the same credits. You learn the same thing. You know, of course, it's at your own pace
Right.
because it's online. What are you gonna do? Try to
Yeah.
rush it? Unless it's an actual schooling thing, then then yeah, you gotta get the due dates and stuff. But you learn the same curriculum, the same topics and stuff.
Right.
So I mean, like you said, there is a ton of upsides, downsides. Online schooling can suck, but it also can have a lot of benefits. You know, a lot of people are getting more sleep, so they're paying attention more in class. You know,
some people aren't getting any sleep.
Yeah, some people are staying up late because they're at home, and then next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, damn, I gotta go to class." You know,
and it's easier to fall asleep in class, and then it makes it harder because then if you do fall asleep, you don't know
true.
what you learned, and even if someone explains it to you, it's kind of just like, well, like I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's true. And then like you said, with YouTube, you know, if you're not monitored, people are just going on YouTube next to the professor's face.
Yeah.
So they're watching a YouTube video. Next thing you know, they're getting called on. They're like, what were we just talking about?
Or sometimes people just stay muted and they don't answer. And sometimes it does suck. I know teachers have to go through a lot as well with the whole online learning. It's not just students. Like I know it's almost embarrassing just to have your face cam on while all your students don't.
Yeah.
And like when you ask a question and you just sit there in silence, it's kind of embarrassing because like if your teacher is like, are they even listening? It's like, am I not doing a good job of teaching?
Yeah.
And like I know it's difficult for teachers as well, but then like students get so some of them actually pay attention and others get distracted so easily or they just don't want to. Right. And they're just like, oh, I'll just show up for the attendance.
But another thing is, when you mention teachers, there are teachers that treat it like it's a school.
Right.
And that's not technically how you should really treat it at the moment. You know, treat it like how you're at home. Like I'm sure teachers have an office that they work in, right? But imagine students. They're in their room with all their gadgets or toys or collectibles or whatever the case may be, their phone, you know, like, and they're at home, they're in their comfort spot, you know, they're either laying in bed or sitting on a nice comfy chair, you know, and then there's teachers that are just complete, I don't want to say anything bad about teachers because all of them have a lot of good intentions. The only problem is that some teachers treat it like a school. So they'll treat it like you're in a classroom. When you really shouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they'll yell at you for not looking at the camera.
I've seen a video of a guy recording himself, and he always records himself every day, like, to be, like, his little journey throughout class. And there's one where he's sitting there and he's eating ramen, and then the teacher stops speaking in the middle of a sentence, and she's like, are you eating in my class? And, like, all the students are, like, laughing. And they're like, ooh, you know, like, oh, like, you got caught.
Right.
And he's eating in his living room. And she was like, I told you can't eat in my classroom. Like, you should be paying attention. And there are times where it's kind of just like, why? Like, they're home, let them eat. Yeah. It's like, even if they have lunch, let them eat, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, at school, we're actually paying attention. We're not craving something. But when we're home and there's, like, a pantry next to us or we know there's food, like, 12 feet away from us, we're going to want to get up, get something to snack on while we...
Yeah, we learn, yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, there are some teachers out there who treat it like a school, which they really shouldn't. But then there's teachers that treat it like you're actually at home. You know, they're at home too. They're relaxed. They're probably in their PJs as well on the computer, you know. And they're just like, hey, guys, good morning. I hope you all are doing okay. Hope you guys are all comfortable, ready to just start the lesson. Right. If you guys are going to eat, go ahead. It's fine. I'm eating my breakfast too. I
have a teacher like that. He's my history teacher. And he's very laid back. Every time someone's late or, like, sleep in, like, I slept in on accident once. I slept through my alarm, and I arrived basically 45 minutes late, and I got on.
That's not arriving late. That's late.
I slept in. I don't know why, but I slept in, and I went on, and I was like, sorry, like, I slept in. Like, I'm sorry, like, what are we doing? And he messaged me back in the chat saying, like, it's fine. It's life. You're home. Like, it's normal.
Yeah, I can't
But
stop
then I
it.
have a different teacher, my geometry teacher, where I slept in for 1 minute, and I got there at 9:01 instead of 9, and he got pissed at me saying that I was late, you know, and then immediately he was just, you know, like, going off and telling everyone, like, don't come late. And it's kind of just like, I'm sorry I slept in for a minute, you know.
No, it's true, you know, and so I know students and teachers all have it hard because everyone's got different, not just opinions, but, like, different routines, you know.
Right.
If you're not up early to get to school, you know, then who knows, who cares if students are going to be late to class because they're at home, knowing that they can sleep in, like you said, you know. Mm-hmm. It's hard for a student to go from a routine that you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready, get dressed, because your parents have to be at work by a certain time as well. You know, you get dropped off at school in the morning, before most people, you know,
Right.
and you're there till school starts, you know.
Yeah.
But now with the routines now, it's like, okay, well, school doesn't obviously start till 8, and so now you can sleep in till 7:30
You're basically in
instead of
charge
waking
of
up till 6.
yourself now.
Yeah, you're
Right.
in charge of yourself. So it also takes a lot of what was it called?
Responsibility.
Well, responsibility and independence.
Yeah.
You know, because you have to take it as like a job.
Right.
Because school is a job.
Right.
Is a job for kids. You're learning to
Mhm.
grow in life to go and continue into adulthood. And stuff.
But
But you get paid by knowledge and free food.
But there you go.
not free
Okay.
food anymore.
Well, not as much anymore. But no, it's still free. They're handing out lunches and stuff for people who can drive.
Yeah, who can get to that.
Yeah, to get to the food lockers and stuff, you know. But I mean, independence and responsibility. Like the parents are gonna go to work if they have work, you know,
Mhm.
and they are depending on you to get to class because they're not gonna just not have you go to school.
Right.
You know, they want you to. All parents hopefully want to have their kids have an education.
Right.
Hopefully, I hope yours do.
Exactly.
You know,
Right.
I know I'm still in college, going to college. I'm gonna graduate soon as well. Jessica's in high school; she's gonna graduate as well soon in a year. My mom's in college, so I mean, we're all kind of still in the school system. You know,
Mhm.
it's not something that we just can just leave. You know, it's still in our
I
lives.
mean,
It's still.
you can.
Well, you could,
You could
But-
drop out, but
but then what's gonna be the best for you?
But
Like
then exactly, what are you gonna?
people look at you as like, oh, you're a
doing?
dropout.
You know,
They don't look at you as like a high person.
look at Ethan.
Who
Ethan.
from?
When it's honest, he didn't go to college.
But he got a high school diploma.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, you know.
I was like, Mark dropped out of college.
But he has a high school diploma and a year or two in engineering. He didn't graduate with a degree in engineering, but he went for engineering.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So even though like I'm talking about like if people drop out from like high school,
or like 11th grade or something.
yeah, like to go get a job like in 11th grade, because like as soon as they turn 16, they're like, I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna make that money. And next you know you're a manager at McDonald's. And don't get me wrong, managers do make good money at restaurants. Managers.
Right.
Managers,
But
not
it takes you a long time to get to that
forever.
position.
But
and
I,
then you're not happy.
I do know some people.
At least I don't
who-
know anybody who's happy as a manager unless you love that restaurant so much.
I know some people at my school who, you know, as soon as they turned 16, they got jobs. But then, like, I knew them from sports, and then automatically they dropped out of sports and they almost never came to school. Because then when they did, they'd be like, sorry, like, I had to help my mom with this, or I had to, like, I was at work.
Yeah.
And it was kind of just like the job was taking over, and every teacher was like, just quit. And it's like, it's not worth it, just stay in school. But then everyone was always so stubborn. They're like, no, like, I need that money. But I'm like, truly, I think they only want that money to show off and, like, buy snacks for their friends. And like,
definitely.
oh, look,
Yeah.
like,
But,
I got my
I mean, let's be
paycheck.
honest. Everyone does.
Mhm.
You know, everyone wants to be able to have money to be able to be like, oh, you need you hungry? I got
Yeah.
you. You know,
Mhm.
and let's be honest, like everybody wants to do that. Maybe not everybody, because I know a lot of people
Right.
who are stubborn and selfish and don't.
Right.
They're like, oh, I have money, but oh, you're hungry? Oh, too bad. I'm sorry. Like I got $1 in hundreds. I'm sorry. You know,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna buy you anything because I don't know you, don't like you. You know.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's true. You know, it sucks because it's just it is what it is at the moment. You know.
Yep.
But it was always that way even before quarantine. Like kids didn't really care too much for school, you know. They always wanted to make big money. They want to become these big people without actually knowing the educational part of it.
Yeah, but like now, if you look at it, like even I know some people, who were like known at my school like as the bads, like you know the bad
Yeah.
kids or whatever. But even now, they're like, I hate it at home. Like I want to go to school. You know, because
Right.
it's like
Right.
you realize how much,
It's a
not how
comforting
much
place.
like better, but like how much you get to talk to your friends, how much like more freedom you have than just sitting around in your living room.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, at school you actually like walk around. You actually can like talk to your friends during break time, or you guys can like laugh and everything.
Yeah.
While at home, you kind
guys,
of just like
you guys walk around school campus,
Yeah.
talking, eating. You know.
could make plans for after school, but like
yeah, go to the park.
at
you
home,
relax.
like yeah, you guys can FaceTime, but it's like, well, what now? And it's like, oh, haha, like yeah, I went to school. I had an omelet. What'd you do?
Yeah.
I had a bowl of cereal. Wow.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Do you want to make plans? Oh, wait. Right. Do you have a mask? Oh, wait. I forgot mine at home. Oh, wait. You know?
Yeah.
Like, got hand sanitizer? Oh, wait.
Even if people were like, oh, like, well, I have a mask. I have all that. Let's go shopping. Okay, where you want to go? Vaughn's? Food List? Like, pick a place.
Yeah, like grocery stores, basically. Yeah, because the malls aren't all that open yet. You know?
Nope.
They're still closed. And some businesses have been going out of business because of that. Because a lot of people, even though they want to shop, they don't want to shop online because everyone's being told like they're getting scared by like, oh, someone might transfer it from a package. You know, it may be true, but you can't live your life in fear.
Right.
True.
Just be clean. You know, if you open it, clean the product, and then clean your hands. You're fine. You know,
Yeah.
maybe it may not be that simple to a lot of people, and I
Right.
understand. You know. I mean, trust me, I'm a germaphobe, not to the max, but I'm part germaphobe in some cases, you know. But I mean, the year has been a year, you know. We're gonna get through it. It's almost Halloween. That's what we gotta look at the positives, you know. Like we can't look at like, oh, we're at home stuck on computers. Oh, everything's so grim. Everyone's so sad. Jessica Sharp. But like, we can't look at it as that's a bad thing, you know, because we're human beings. We'll adapt, you know, we'll improvise and we'll overcome. That's what we do, you know,
Right.
and we'll keep doing that for the rest of our lives, you know. And then who knows, within a year or two, we might be able to actually talk in person without having to worry to wear masks or hand sanitize because we might have a vaccine for whatever it is out there, whatever
Right.
occurs, you know. So it's just the year has been a year, and it may not have been the best for a lot. Definitely not us. But we make the most of it, you know?
Mhm.
And to be honest, like, we have to just look at the positives. Like, we're doing, like, for us, we're doing this podcast for everybody who watches. Like, this is a positive for us. This is something that we can do to just have fun, to just talk and, you know, communicate with everybody else out there who can't talk in person, you know?
Yeah.
So that's positive for us. And now a positive as well is, like, Halloween's coming up. People can go get candy still from the store. You guys can go rent movies, pizza. You can order pizza. You can still do a lot of fun things at home, make games for Halloween. You can still dress up in your house, take photo shoots. Who cares? Post it online. Sure, you're not going to be able to go outside and trick or treat maybe, but go outside. Do a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Have fun with it, you know? And then, not to mention, November is coming around the corner as well. That's Thanksgiving. That's food. Everyone, bulk up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
add on the pounds along with the
might as well,
other
the year-
pounds that you gained.
right? I mean, I know I gained at least 3 so far.
Woo!
Yay.
Can't go.
Darn it, home workouts aren't the greatest either. But yeah, I mean, like, the year has been a year. I know I keep repeating that. I'm sorry, but it's true. You know, we just like everything. There's still a lot to do. There's still a lot that's coming. You know, you can still go out to the stores. Like, sure. There's not, sir. Please let me have some water. There's not a lot to do in person with a lot of other people, but you can still go out, get food, get candy, do decorations for things. You know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, New Year's. Like, shoot, this 4th of July was supposed to be closed.
Right? Yeah.
And it became
look
the
what happened.
biggest 4th of July I could ever remember. Our dogs were going crazy.
Yeah, huh?
You know,
Yeah.
like, it was the biggest 4th of July spectacular I've ever seen at
many
one house.
fireworks going down.
There were so many out of any other year. And technically 4th of July was supposed to be canceled. And it wasn't. So, and we're doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, the positives. Sure, there's been a lot of negatives, but if we keep looking at the negatives, we're never going to get far. You know?
Right.
We're not going to go anywhere. Jessica, you got to stop looking at the negatives. Okay. Okay, we'll get to your K-pop in another episode. Okay.
Alrighty.
But yeah, that's been the J Club podcast for today. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I'm sorry if it made you I know this is kind of a bum,
Skittish.
not skittish, but like a bummer episode. You know,
Episode. But hey, you know, if you guys got a comment about how your year has been going, go ahead and
let us know.
Yeah, let us know how you've been doing, how your year has been. If it's been good, bad, if anything positive happened, anything negative, because we have to grow from the negatives. We have to learn from the negatives. We learn from problems. I mean, because let's be honest, if we didn't learn from our problems or negative things that occurred in life, not just mistakes, but like negative things that occurred. Like if we can't look at the positive about it, how do we get far in life?
Right.
So yeah, let us know in the comments down below anything negative or positive that's happened in your year. So, but for now, I hope that it wasn't too bummer of an episode. We try to keep it a little bit upbeat, but it did kind of go to a bum kind of
a downside.
A downside. But again, there's positives to 2020. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. I have been your host, Alex, with my other hosts.
Hey everyone, this is Eva. Have a good night, or a good day, or a good morning.
It's been Jess. Hope y'all are doing well. Stay safe.
And that has been the J Club Podcast. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.